A very bright and cheerful good morning, students. So, we are back to learn a new chapter of science. I would first begin this session by giving a small introduction about this chapter. In this first chapter of chemistry, we will be learning in detail about metals and non-metals, their properties, and other interesting things related to metals and non-metals. Students, I will give you a small introduction about metals and non-metals. There are only 94 naturally occurring elements known to us at present. On the basis of their properties, all the elements can be divided into two main groups, that are metals and non-metals. Iron, copper, gold, aluminium, etc. are examples of metals, whereas carbon, oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen are the examples of non-metals. All the metals have similar properties. All the non-metals also have similar properties. But the properties of non-metals are opposite to those of metals. Both metals as well as non-metals are used in our daily life. Metals can be distinguished from non-metals on the basis of their physical and chemical properties that we will discuss in this chapter in detail. Now students, first we will discuss about physical properties of metals and non-metals. First physical property is luster. Metal are lustrous or shiny. This means that metals have a shiny appearance. If we observe the freshly cut surfaces of metals, we will find that they have a shiny appearance. This is called metallic luster or chamak. The shiny appearance of metals make them useful in making jewelry and decoration pieces. For example, gold and silver are used for making jewelry because they are bright and shiny. But non-metals are non-lustrous. They are dull. This means that non-metals are not shiny, they are dull in appearance. For example, sulfur and phosphorus are solid non-metals which do not have luster or shine. They are dull in appearance. There is, however, one exception: iodine is a non-metal having luster. Our second physical property is hardness. Metals are generally hard. This means that most of the metals cannot be cut easily. Though most of the metals are hard, but their hardness varies from one metal to another. For example, if we try to cut a thin sheet of iron metal with a pair of scissors, we will find that it is very difficult to cut the sheet of iron. This is because iron metal is very hard. On the other hand, a thin sheet of aluminium metal can be cut easily by using scissors. This means that aluminium metal is less hard. There are, however, some exceptions to this property of hardness of metals. Sodium and potassium metals are soft and can be easily cut with a knife. For example, if we try to cut a lump of sodium metal with a dry knife, we will find that it can be cut easily into small pieces, just like wax. This shows that sodium metal is soft. Magnesium metal can also be cut easily. But most of the solid non-metals are quite soft. This means that most of the solid non-metals can be cut easily. For example, sulfur and phosphorus are soft non-metals which can be easily cut into pieces with a knife. Only one non-metal, that is diamond. It is very hard. In fact, diamond is the hardest natural substance known. Students, table 4.1 is given in your textbook that you have to fill by yourself. In that, you have to write that iron is shiny or dull. It is very hard or not very hard, and so on. By that, we will conclude that elements which are shiny and hard are metals and which are dull and not very hard are non-metals. Students, now we will perform activity 1 to show the next physical property of metals and non-metals. Take a small iron nail, a coal piece, a piece of thick aluminium wire and a pencil lead. Beat the iron nail with a hammer, but take care that you don't hurt yourself in the process. Try to hit hard. Hit hard the aluminium wire. Then repeat the same kind of treatment on the coal piece and pencil lead. Record your observation. Students, after performing activity 1, we will see that the shape of iron nail and aluminium wire changed on beating. They are flattened. If they were beaten harder, they can be changed into sheets. But coal piece and pencil lead break into pieces. This means we cannot hammer them to obtain their thin sheets. Students, table 4.2 is given in your textbook that you have to fill it yourself by seeing this observation. From activity 1, we came to know that the shape of the iron nail and the aluminium wire changed on beating. If they were beaten harder, these could be changed into sheets. This means that the metals can be beaten into thin sheets with a hammer. If we take a piece of aluminium metal, place it on a block of iron and beat it with a hammer, we will find that the piece of aluminium metal turns into thin aluminium sheet without breaking. And we say that the aluminium metal is malleable or it shows malleability. The property which allows the metal to be hammered into thin sheets is called malleability. Most of the metals are malleable. For example, aluminium metal can be hammered to form thin aluminium foils, which are used for wrapping food. Copper metal can also be hammered to form copper sheets. Silver is also used as a silver foil used for decorating sweets. But non-metals are not malleable. Non-metals are brittle. This means that non-metals cannot be beaten into thin sheets with a hammer. Non-metals break into small pieces with hammer. If we take a piece of carbon and beat it with a hammer, it will break into pieces. We cannot hammer carbon to obtain thin sheets of carbon. Thus, carbon is a non-metal which is not malleable. Carbon is brittle. Students, now we will learn about conductivity, which is also a physical property of metals and non-metals. Can you hold a hot metallic pan which is without a plastic or a wooden handle and not get hurt? Answer is perhaps not. Why? Because metals are good conductor of heat. Try to list some other experiences in which a wooden or a plastic handle protects you from being hurt while handling hot things. Our first experience is while cooking chapatis, we use iron tawa, which have a handle made up of wood. Our second experience is our pressure cooker handles are made up of ebonite, that is a kind of plastic. On the basis of these experiences, what can you say about the conduction of heat by wood and plastic? We can say that wood and plastic both are poor conductor of heat. You must have seen an electrician using his screwdriver. What kind of handle does it have? Why? Electrician uses screwdriver that is made up of plastic because plastic is a poor conductor of heat and electricity. Students, we will perform activity 2 to show that metals are good conductor of electricity and non-metals are poor conductor of electricity. For that, we will take a cell, a torch bulb fitted in a holder and some connecting wires. connect them to make an electric circuit as shown in the picture. Now let us insert iron nail between the ends of the wire A and B. We will see that the torch bulb lights up at once. This means that iron nail allows electric current to pass through it. In the other words, iron metal is a good conductor of electricity. Let us now remove the iron nail and insert sulfur roll between the two ends of wire A and B. The bulb will not light up. This means that sulfur roll does not allow electric current to pass through it. In the other words, sulfur roll is a poor conductor of electricity. Similarly, we will insert coal piece between two wires A and B. The bulb does not glow up. This means coal piece is a poor conductor of electricity. Now in the last, the connecting wires used in making circuits are made of copper metals. Since the copper connecting wires allow electric current to pass through them, therefore copper metal is also a good conductor of electricity. We will observe that iron rod, nail and copper wire are good conductors, while rolled sulfur piece and coal piece are poor conductors. Through this activity, we can come to know that which of the metals are poor conductors and which are good conductors. So, we can say that metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. This means that metals allow heat and electricity to pass through them easily. Copper, silver, gold, aluminium and iron metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals are poor conductor of heat and electricity. This means non-metals do not allow heat and electricity to pass through them. For example, sulfur is a non-metal which does not conduct heat or electricity. Similarly, a piece of coal also does not conduct heat or electricity. Our next physical property is ductility. Where do you find the use of aluminium and copper wires? Our answer is in electric wires. Have you seen wires of coal? No, we have not seen wires of coal. So our answer is definitely not. This means that metals can be drawn into thin wires. Most of the metals are ductile. Gold and silver are among the best ductile metals. Copper and aluminium metals are also very ductile and can be drawn into thin copper wires and aluminium wires. Iron, magnesium and tungsten metals are also quite ductile and can be drawn into wires. So, the property which allows the metals to be drawn into wires is called ductility. Ductility is another physical property of metals. But non-metals are not ductile. This means that non-metals cannot be drawn into wires. They are easily snapped or on stretching. Our next physical property of metals and non-metals is sonorousness. Metals are sonorous. This means that metals make a ringing sound when we strike them. Sonorous means capable of producing a ringing sound. If we drop a metal coin or a metal utensil on the floor of our house, we hear a ringing sound. So, the metal objects make a ringing sound when we drop them on a hard floor or strike them with a hard object. So, we can say that metals are sonorous. The use of metals for making bells is based on this property of being sonorous. But non-metals are not sonorous. This means that non-metals do not make a ringing sound when we strike them. If we drop a piece of carbon, say a piece of charcoal, or a lump of sulfur on the floor or strike them with a hammer, we do not hear any ringing sound. This means that carbon and sulfur are non-metals and not sonorous. They are not capable of producing a ringing sound when struck. So students, after performing all the above activities, we can say that some materials are hard, lustrous, malleable, ductile, sonorous and good conductor of heat and electricity. The materials which generally possess these properties are called metals. The examples of metals are iron, copper, aluminium, calcium, magnesium, etc. In contrast, materials like coal and sulfur are soft and dull in appearance. They break down into powdery mass on tapping with hammer. They are not sonorous and are poor conductor of heat and electricity. These materials are called non-metals. The examples of non-metals are sulfur, carbon, oxygen, phosphorus, etc. Students, this is a table showing physical property of metal and non-metal. Metals are solid except mercury. Non-metals may be solid, liquids or gases. Metals are hard except sodium and potassium, etc. Non-metals which are solid are brittle. Diamond is the hardest. Metals have metallic luster. Non-metal do not have luster. Some have a dull luster. Metals have high melting points and boiling points. Non-metals have low melting points. Metals are malleable, can be made into thin sheets. Non-metals are not malleable. Metals are ductile, it means can be made into thin wires. Non-metals are not ductile. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity except graphite. Metals are sonorous, means produces sound. Non-metals are not sonorous. Students, you have to learn this table and you have to write this table in your textbook. So students, this is the end of first part of metals and non-metals. We will meet again in our next video with chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Up till then, goodbye and thank you.